Tupac Shakur came to Las Vegas to attend a Mike Tyson fight. After the fight, Tupac, along with Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and other people that were with that group, ran into a person named Orlando Anderson. And Orlando Anderson is the defendant's nephew. And when they encountered Orlando Anderson sitting by himself, they attacked him. That attack was captured on video. During those 2.5 hours, you will learn that the defendant was escalating and planning the retribution for the beating of his beloved nephew. Now, let's be clear. Dwayne Davis did not pull the trigger. But what he did do was plan the retaliation for the beating of his nephew.
Tupac, and he was, that bullshit. A real mother be sitting down and set his ass down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'll be hanging out just want to be seen and shit. When I first shot it, hit big boy in the head. I thought he was dead. Like, damn, he's dead.
Mob Pyro and Southside Compton Crips can escalate it. And those tensions boiled over in the Lakewood Mall in the summer of 1996.
Yeah, so you're looking at this surveillance footage of this purported beating of Orlando Anderson at the MGM Grand, okay, this hotel in Las Vegas. This is right after the Mike Tyson fight.
Keefe D just went live and dropped what really happened the night Tupac got taken out and the streets went dead quiet. Word is the man who admitted he was in the Cadillac is finally laying out the full sequence in real time, and if he sticks to it, the whole story of that drive-by is about to shift forever. Now, if you got an internet connection lately, you probably already seen them viral videos of the Keffe D murder trial of Tupac Shakur. Day 1 is in the books, the jury is starting to take shape, and the man who admitted he was in that white Cadillac is finally sitting in a courtroom while the whole culture watches. Prosecutors are not saying he pulled the trigger, they are saying he planned it, armed the shooters, and made sure the retaliation for his nephew's beating turned into something permanent. Keefe D has pleaded not guilty. His team is calling every story he told over the years exaggerated for money and attention. But the streets are locked in because the same man who wrote the book sat for the interviews and kept talking for 15 years. Now day 2, and Keefe D is now live under oath. He's spilling all that happened that night.
Did you have anything to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wasn't even in the matter. I wasn't into the matter, period.
Do you regret the book and the interview?
Yeah, I was just after the money, and they said I was covered. I did it for the money. You know what I'm saying? And
But did anyone tell you maybe it's not a good idea to do that?
Let's rewind the night itself so the picture lands clear. September 7th, 1996. Tupac and Suge Knight came to Las Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight. After the bout, they ran into Orlando Anderson, Keefe D's nephew, outside the MGM Grand. The surveillance video captured the beating. In Keefe D's world, that kind of public humiliation on family does not go unanswered.
Fairness on Holyfield. First real signs.
Oh, a straight right combination by Holyfield. Holyfield looking to air it out.
Holyfield's unloading and he's taking a shot. He's going for it.
Oh, Tyson's in trouble. Holyfield smothers Tyson.
After the fight, Tupac is still in that mode.
Hey. When Tyson getting the weak, he knocked motherfuckers out. Well, that's what Tupac gonna do.
He was still charged up.
Anybody that go to jail come out, they got good luck.
That's very addictive.
Against me, I'ma knock they out.
If he didn't have anybody to fight, he'll find somebody to fight.
According to the prosecution, the next 2.5 hours were spent escalating and planning the response. Keefe D got the gun, he got into the white Cadillac. When the opportunity presented itself, he made sure the people in that car were ready. The seating arrangement Keefe D himself described over and over is the one the state keeps putting in front of the jury. The driver was Terrence Brown. Rear driver's side was DeAndre Big Dre Smith. Rear passenger side was Orlando Anderson. Keefe D sat in the front passenger seat. They spotted Tupac and Suge heading toward Club 662, made the U-turn. Keefe D had the firearm he got from Eric Von Zip Martin. He passed it to the back. According to his own words, if Tupac and Suge had been on his side of the car, he would have handled it himself. Because they were on the other side, the gun went to the back. DeAndre hesitated. Orlando Anderson took the shots. That is the sequence Keefe D has repeated in private interviews, public appearances, and the book he published. The prosecution is treating those repeated admissions as the core of the case.
Tabitha Soren with MTV News. Controversial rapper and actor Tupac Shakur has died in a Las Vegas hospital of
I was in jail. I was in jail when he got shot. There was a lot of niggas in jail that was celebrating Pac's death. I'm glad that I didn't anybody or anybody me, but I damn sure came close.
So I want to backtrack. You said that you was on top of the world until you met Puffy. What you mean by that?
Man, shit, I was getting 300 kilos a month, man, balling, man. Didn't nobody know about me. My shit was smooth, dude. My shit was laid out smooth, man. I met your motherfucker there, and all the heat and thunder coming around with your mother, man. Brother love, come show some love. That's all I can say. Show some love, brother love. You know, shit. Brother, I be seeing you doing your little pretty dance and all that, man. Show some love, homie. Come on, man. Don't be like that, brother love. I was on top of the world till I met your mother, dude. Shit is wrong, dude. Come on, homie. I need something. Throw a dog a bone or something. Sit up there talking about you, daddy love. Show us some love.
Here they come that BMW and here you corner. I'm calling, Tupac, Tupac. I was like, there you go. Made a U-turn. What of course made it just one U-turn. They was in a little lane. We just pulled up on the side, checked every car to see what they was.
So what directed your attention to him was some girls shouting at Tupac?
Tupac, he gave himself away. Otherwise, they would have got away. Y'all ran out quick. Come on, you. There you go.
You did a U-turn, so then you pull alongside of it. You got to do it in the car. Have you already handed him the gun at this point, or at what point you handed him the gun?
I thought he was going to go outside. No, I don't know that. Going to the out, you know. He pulled on his side.
So you were fitting to blast if you had to, or you were just...
Yeah, we were on outside all the way.
Okay. So you hand the gun to the backseat.
Yeah.
You can hear Benny?
Yeah, Dre was like, no. And now he's like, dude, wow.
Decide to make a U-turn. Confront Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. Dwayne Davis had the firearm. It's a firearm he got from Eric Vons at Martin. And then he passes it to the back. Dwayne Davis says that if they were on his side, if Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight were on his side of the vehicle, he would have shot them himself. But because they were on the other side, he handed it to DeAndre Smith. DeAndre Smith, according to Dwayne Davis, did not want to shoot at that time. So Orlando Anderson shot.
The defense is hitting back hard on exactly that point. They say there are no independent facts tying Keefe D to the shooting, nor the weapon recovered that matches. Sloppy investigation. The FBI and local detectives never fully verified the people he named. When he gave the 2008 proffer while the feds were looking at the Biggie case, he was never charged then either. Same with the 2009 Las Vegas interview. The defense is telling the jury that if the stories were caught, somebody would have moved on them years ago. Instead, the case sat until a detective started reading pages of Keefe D's own book into the grand jury record without writing a single report of his own. That is the battle line. The state says the frequency and consistency of the statements prove guilt. The defense says the man was full of it for attention and the investigation never checked the work.
Keefe D claims that there is this ongoing conversation. It happens on 3 different occasions. But most specifically when he and Puffy are at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset. And they're there, things have spiraled out of control. Puffy's really concerned about, the welfare of his safety. And he tells Keefe D, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac. And he says, I just need you to take care of him. And Keefe D's like, that's no problem, that's what we do. And so an agreement was made, according to Keefe D, for an amount of money. And they kind of just let it go at that point in time. But of course, Keefe D knows in the back of his mind, this is what Puffy wants done. And they all end up out in Las Vegas. But of course, when we interview Keefe D, he's like, yeah, that's what the agreement amount was, $1 million.
So according to Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to Suge? or Tupac?
Both
or
of
both?
them. Yeah, both their names came up. And according to Keffe D, he says, Tupac's put himself on the list by all the shit talking that he was doing. But it was really about Suge, because it was Suge's muscle.
While the lawyers argue over the reliability of those old words, the man who was actually in the passenger seat that night is speaking from behind bars. Suge Knight sat for a jailhouse interview and said the quiet part out loud. This was not a chain snatch, not even a random rap beef. This was a straight assassination. Suge is on the witness list. So are members of Tupac's family.
And Death Row Records founder Suge Knight had a lot to say about the Tupac Shakur trial during a jailhouse interview with TMZ. Knight was in the car with Tupac the night he was shot on the Strip in September of 1996. Now from behind bars, he is weighing in on the case and how prosecutors are framing the killing. Here's how Knight describes it.
One of the things you got to realize, this was assassination. It wasn't over no chain. It wasn't over no colors. This was assassination. And they can do one who assassinated Kennedy and everybody can talk about it.
The person who rode shotgun while the shots rang out is finally weighing in while the only man ever charged sits in the box. That combination is what has the streets watching every minute of this trial. The older claims that never fully died are now sitting right next to the new courtroom energy. Former detective Greg Kading has said the investigation eventually narrowed to two names that kept standing, Keefe D and Diddy. In the interviews Keefe D gave, he claimed that about a year before the shooting, Diddy stood in a room full of Southside Crips and offered money to have Tupac and Suge taken out. The number that floated was 1 million. Those words came from Keefe D's own mouth, not a verdict. Once they resurfaced, the timeline of that final night started looking different again. Another name that keeps entering the frame is Eric Von Zip Martin, a close associate of Diddy. Keefe D claimed the gun used that night was linked to a car connected to Von Zip. Even members of Tupac's family have asked why that trail never got fully followed. Then there is Kirk Burroughs, one of the co-founders of Bad Boy. He kept journals. One entry noted that just days before Tupac was taken out, Diddy asked him to rent cars for a drive from New York to Las Vegas. At the time, the detail did not seem major. Years later, investigators started looking at those records again, the dates, the costs, the routes. The streets have whispered for years that the East Coast versus West Coast story was cover for a personal fallout that got out of hand. Keefe D's version, according to the claim circulating, is that the hit was ordered because Tupac walked away and refused to stay quiet or controlled. That is the full picture the prosecution is trying to put in front of the jury using Keefe D's own repeated statements. The defense is trying to paint those same statements as fiction created for money and attention. Suge Knight is calling it an assassination from day one. The only man charged is live in the courtroom, while the culture waits to see if the words he has been saying for 15 years hold up under cross-examination or fall apart. Witnesses are already painting pieces of the night. One woman who was on the Strip in a convertible said she pulled up next to Suge and Tupac, that the energy in their car looked relaxed, that nobody was hanging out the window yelling to fans the way some of Keefe D's accounts described. The defense is using that contradiction to chip at the reliability of the main evidence. Another officer who stopped the black BMW earlier that night and then responded to the shooting described Suge outside the car, telling them to take care of Tupac, and Tupac himself saying something close to "we'll take care of it" when asked who did this. Those details sit right next to the prosecution's claim that Keefe D organized the retaliation in 2.5 hours and then spent the next 3 decades still angry about the beating of his nephew. The trial is only at the beginning. Jury selection is moving. Opening statements have drawn the battle lines. The main evidence is still Keefe D's own voice on recordings, in a book, and in interviews. The man who was in the car with Tupac is calling it an assassination. 30 years of whispers about money changing hands, guns linked to certain circles, cars rented days before, and a personal fallout that may have cut deeper than the public rivalry are all sitting in the same room. Them online community been whispering loud. This user goes, "Bro, really had the biggest get out of jail free card and then wasted it." Another wrote, "When trying to be famous goes wrong." Yet another put it bluntly, "Glad they named Puffy." Then this online user said, "This is the CEO of self-snitching." Now spotlight on you. How much of the sequence Keefe D has described for years will survive real cross-examination? And if Suge Knight gets on that stand and says the same thing he said from the cell, how many more pieces of the night that were never supposed to surface are about to get pulled into the light? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're riding with unfiltered heat, don't just scroll, lock in, tap like, subscribe, and keep it rolling with the next jaw dropper loading up now.